be.
I don't want there to be any feedback, so if I get any feedback, leave the thing.
I'm just waiting for it to populate. I'm real proud of you.
She can't tonight. I don't know why she asked if she put it, but
Okay. Hey guys. It's not quite 7 yet. Just getting set up. Hey friends.
You're on yet, but yeah.
I'm not on yet.
I mean, it's just lagging.
So, what do you think the lag is? 30 seconds?
It's more than 30 seconds.
It really is, isn't it? Okay, that's good to know. Just figuring out lag time, y'all.
Okay, now you're on screen.
Oops. So how much is
I'd say it's lagging by about a minute. At least by me.
Okay. And then I want to see, why is it not showing up on this page?
You'll probably have to reload it.
Hey guys. It's 7 o'clock on Wednesday. I'm Joni Bates. And we're going to talk real estate. Intro. Do you like that intro? There we are. So it's less Wine Wednesday today, and it's more of a Whiskey Wednesday. Whiskey Wednesday. Hi friends. All right, it is 7 o'clock. Okay, so today, I need y'all shout out at me. I'm by myself today. Miss Michelle's not here. I've got about a minute lag we've figured out on this. So if I don't see your comments and whatnot, I'm not ignoring you. It's just we've got a significant lag going on with the Facebook Live, okay? And I might be moving you around. We're trying to fine tune our processes here. Sarah Grace is helping me out. All right. Hi, guys. Send me some hearts. Send me some love. Send me some love. Our first week that we did this, it was 2 weeks ago, we talked about general real estate things. We talked about 1031 exchanges, which is a way to protect your capital gains when you are looking at investing in houses and when you're flipping and whatnot. And then last week we had Miss Michelle here, Michelle Hatfield with Innovations in Design from ADAC in Atlanta, an incredibly good designer. And she gave us a lot of insight into what's happening in the design world, what wall covering's looking like, if wall covering went out or if it never actually left. Beautiful samples that she gave us to look at last week. Really beautiful textures, and so all those houses that you're thinking about flipping and redoing, you can put that wallpaper in there, make it durable and awesome. And so this week we're going to start the first, kind of like the first installment of a series that's near and dear to my heart. It's for seniors. It is the Senior Real Estate Specialist certification that I have. And that kind of brings me to my whole idea of our whiskey Wednesday instead of our wine Wednesday. So shout out to me about what your parents, grandparents, uncles during holidays and whatnot. What did you grow up seeing your people drink? Mine was. I grew up in Detroit. Mine was whiskey, um, dark liquor. All the uncles used to during Thanksgiving and whatnot. Um, they're drinking dark liquor, and I'm not hating on that at all. Honestly, I can probably nod to a number of my girls out there who really enjoy. Oh, there's nothing wrong with some Tennessee honey. Oh, that's really good, really good. So, shout out to me. Tell me what you remember about your childhood and about your grandparents and your parents, and about different brands and things that were around the house. Um, I'm dating myself. That's part of the reason why the senior real estate specialist is important to me, because kind of there, when you hit your 50s, you start thinking about stuff. You start thinking about what's next. Um, you start wondering about retirement. What's it going to look like? What's going to happen? Also, in your 50s, you start really worrying about your folks. And if you're lucky to still have your grandparents, you're worrying about them too. Um, Aging and housing is a real thing. It can get complicated, it can get sticky, and that's why I really wanted to dig into having a certification in being a specialist in this demographic. Um, because I can remember my grandparents going through, and thank goodness we're a tight family from Detroit, when it was time for them to leave that forever home that they'd been in. I mean, goodness, some of my grandparents were in that home. It was their parents' home, and then their parents, I mean, great grandparent kind of thing. So it was a big deal. It was a big deal to transition into a different space. And there's a lot of emotions and a lot of tenderness that really needs to be included with that. And sometimes that gets lost in the process. So that's why it was important to me to become certified. So after my name on stuff, it says SRES, which means I am certified in the state of Georgia to be an expert in helping you, your loved ones, make that transition. And talking about the past and your loved ones, I just have to show you some things that are near and dear to me. Some of you are going to recognize this. It's a bell, and it's milk glass, and it's got little bumpies on it, and it's not a real bell. You guys remember this? Oh my goodness, it still smells like grandma. Oh my gosh. It's from Avon. Avon used to sell trinkets and cute things. It has a bell on the bottom, so it does ring. And folks, it's very sweet. This was from my Grandma B. And I started my love in collecting milk glass, particularly the bumpy one. I know there's a special name for it, but I love the bumpy milk glass. And I might have a problem because I have a lot of it. I mean, a lot of it. It's very special to me. This one used to be a perfume bottle too. Can't get this one open. Anyways, so I hold my history and my people who have gone before us in a very, very special spot. And this right here is from my grandma. It's a angel, and it's a music box. It's really sweet. Really, really sweet. Isn't that beautiful? That was from Catherine Perjeski. Love Grandma B. Okay, so now you know the history, you know the backstory of why it's important to me to honor our seniors and a nod towards their special needs and special care that is required when you talk about aging in place or assisted living, independent living. I have a friend who has a company called Visiting Angels. When you want to age in place and make that your final place is your forever home. So, kind of seems like a downer. It's really not, because think about it. First of all, we're drinking whiskey. That's pretty fantastic. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but we're talking about your future. We're talking about being able to make your plans for, are all the kids gone? Are you empty nesters? Do you have a 6-bedroom, 4.5-bath home that you're like, time to go, right? You're thinking about something smaller, something where you can easily manage it. Maybe you don't want any yard work. You're thinking we're going to travel, or you're going to downsize, and you might do a second career. You might retire from one. I've got a lot of friends who've done this. They've retired from their corporate job, and they've gone into something that's their passion, like teaching or art, or they're going to write that novel or music, or travel, or any of those things, or volunteering, something that touches them. In their 50s, they now are able to do that because the kids are gone, and they can follow their dreams and follow their second careers. Also, let's talk about the facts, the reality of when your kids leave, they sometimes come back, right? Um, and you want them to come back. You want them to come back and bring their spouses and children, and you want to have the space for them for big parties and Thanksgiving and all that. But sometimes they come back because there's a necessity. Let's talk about it. COVID right now has made everybody come home. All the college kids come home. It's kind of like circling your wagons as a family. You realize that you need to hang together. So you actually might need a bigger house. You thought you were going to be downsizing, and you were going to be empty nesters and all these great plans. And that still could happen, in the future, and make when all this crazy is over. But I just worked with some sweet clients that we found them a bigger house. And they have 4 kids who are adults, but they were coming home from college, and a couple were married, and they just all huddled under one roof, and it was fantastic. It was beautiful to see. And so, there's all different things that happen when you're in your 50s, like 50 to 65. You're looking at significant changes in what you want to do, and you have a lot of choices. Um, the most important thing to think about when you're talking about retirement is health. None of it matters without your health. And then wealth management. Okay, um, y'all talk to your doctor about your health. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of whiskey never hurt that either. So get your health in order so that you can build your wealth and be with your family. So you can start making plans and having that second career, that dream travel in your 50s and 60s. And part of that is investing. So let's talk about your portfolio. Again, you need to talk to your tax people. You need to talk to your attorneys. I could be your real estate practitioner, but your tax people and your attorneys are your go-to. But if you think that real estate is not good, and you think that real estate is too risky to include in your portfolio, you'd be wrong. Okay? You just be wrong. Part of building wealth later in life, I'm not saying 50s later in life, but you know what I'm saying, you're not 25, is creating a system where you make mailbox money, where you make money when you sleep, and it's called passive income. And a way to make passive income is by having investment properties, and you are providing a service. You are providing a home for those 25-year-olds who are just starting, and they don't have that kind of capital to put down a down payment. So you buy those houses and you rent them. You don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to be a landlord like I am. You don't have to get out there and get all messy with the landlord stuff. I personally love it, but there are so many property managers that don't cost a ton. They really don't cost a ton. You will still get a good ROI. You can need to shop around. You can ask me after we find you an investment property. I will set you up with a very good property manager who is going to make the money that they need, but they're not going to gouge you, and they're going to do a very good job. They'll treat that home like they treat their own. and it's pretty incredible. A lot of my property managers that I know only do 10 to 13 homes. There's no, they don't do it like major companies where you call up and you're like, hello, my basement's flooded, and you don't hear from them. That's not how this rolls. Um, but yeah, that is how you get mailbox money. You make money while you sleep, is you do investment properties. Another way to do that is royalties. But I don't know about you. I haven't invented anything soon recently. I've got nothing. I don't have any royalties on any patents, and maybe Honey does. Honey's got a lot of patents, but not me. I do love me some Tennessee honey. That is a good one. Good stuff. Okay, so we're still talking about being in our 50s, into our 60s. We have parents to take care of, okay? And here's something I really want y'all to think about. You have to have those uncomfortable conversations. You have to know what your parents' wishes are in all categories. They need a will. I've got attorneys that are friends that can point you in that direction. And you need to know how they want things to happen. My folks were in Michigan, and they always went to Florida. They were snowbirds. Russ and Joan were rocking it. They were going to the 30A area for a long time. They did that for years. Spent 3 months down there, 4 months down there, and I'm in Atlanta, so they would tool back up through here, visit for a little bit, and then go back up to Michigan. Well, I can remember one time they kind of lingered. They kind of lingered over there in 30A, and they ended up going further south. They went further south so that they could take a look. I put some charge in here. They could take a look at Fort Myers, right? They wanted to go check out and see what all their friends were talking about in Fort Myers. Well, when they got back to my house, I could see a change in them. I could see that they were really excited. They were really happy. I said, "What are you waiting for, y'all? Like, what is the, where is the what do you got to go back to up in Michigan besides cold, sleet, snow, gray snow?" Sorry, y'all, I wasn't a fan of Michigan. My camera is struggling here. Let's see if we can keep that still now. So we got on, this is before I was an agent, we got on and we started looking for homes, doing the Zillow thing and talking to agents there, and actually found some properties they were interested in. Instead of going back to Michigan, they turned around and went back to Fort Myers, put a contingency offer on a place where they're still there, probably 7 years ago. They're in Brandywine. Just love the Brandywine community down there in Fort Myers. Shout out, Brandywine, you're awesome. Taking care of my folks over there. And it's 55 plus community, and so they came back to Atlanta and went back home and put their house on the market. And about 3 weeks later, I flew up to Michigan and did an estate sale for them, and we got rid of everything. They showed up at my house probably a month and a half later with their car, which was like a 4-door, simple maybe crossover kind of vehicle, and a tiny little U-Haul trailer. I was so proud of them. You know what I mean? They did it. They downsized on their own. I mean, I helped them. We did a huge estate sale. We blessed a lot of folks with some really nice things. And then they started over in Florida. And they have the best community, the best friends, their health. I honestly don't think that I would still have them if they hadn't moved south and gotten some folks around them and some weather and some exercise. So it's a huge blessing. So when you're thinking about your parents and you're thinking about the future, consider it. Consider assisting them and calling someone like me who's an SRES who has the knowledge for things like a quitclaim deed and a trust and what you can do to protect assets and protect their wealth, because there's going to be a time where they're going to need that money to take care of them in a situation where they might be in assisted living or memory care or those things we don't like to think about, but that you really want to honor them. You want to honor them and make sure that they're going to be taken care of. And part of that is thinking ahead, You know what I'm saying? Thinking ahead. So yeah, Mom and Dad, shout out to you over there in Fort Myers, rocking and rolling with your tan 365 days a year, sitting on the beach. That is the life. That is the life. Awesome. Okay, so let's keep talking about your future plans for yourself and for your parents and grandparents. We talked about you might want to be empty nesters and downsize, and you actually might end up upsizing because folks come back home. Your kids might bring your grandkids and their dogs and their husbands and whatnot. And why not make it a big old party in a bigger house, right? Why not? That sounds fantastic. That's awesome. Let's talk about something called a quit claim deed. Okay? Again, you need to talk to your attorneys about this stuff. I'm just giving you information as your real estate practitioner. Okay? It is a quit, like Quit, not quick. It's quit. Quit claim deed. And that is exactly what it sounds like is what it is. You are quitting your claim on a property. Why the heck would you do that? Why would you sign over your property? Why would you do that? Let me tell you why. Okay. So let's do a scenario. You have the house you grew up in, the family home, and one of your parents has passed, and the other parent is there by themselves. There's 3 stories, a basement, a 3rd floor, a lot of stairs, and that parent who's by themselves has fallen. That's how it usually happens. There becomes a medical reason for your family member, your loved one, to have to no longer be in that home, and it's kind of heart-wrenching. But if you're thinking about it ahead of time and you're talking to someone who's an SRES like myself, you can already have those plans in place. We call things the purple folder. I don't know, I like purple. And you put things in the purple folder, and then when things happen and you're emotional, it's already done. You already have made those decisions with your parents, your loved one, and everyone knows what's going to happen. So a quit claim basically means the loved one, as long as they are fully functional, that they are not incapacitated in any way, mentally or, well, physically you can be incapacitated, but mentally not so much. You need to make sure that everyone is of sound mind. Doesn't have to be sound body, but sound mind. And you fill out, you can get it on LegalZoom. You can even write it down on a piece of paper, type it out on a Word document. But you are saying your full legal name. You are quitting the claim to said property. Be real specific on the property. If you have a legal description, put it in there and initial it. And who is going to be getting that property. Usually it will be, the adult child who is the executor, or who's taking charge of the situation, who's in proximity, probably closest to the parent, because folks move out of state all the time. So you do that, and you take it to the courthouse, and you get it stamped, and it's done. There's no money exchanged. You now have the deed to your loved one's home, and you are able to sell that property. You are able to rent that property, and you are able to act in the best interests of that loved one who, at that point, our scenario was that they fell, and they might need to go into some sort of hospital, and then a recovery type respite situation, and then probably move into a 55 plus or something that is just less work. But you, since you've had that quitclaim deed, you are now legal responsible, and you have legal ownership over that home, and you can act on their behalf. Same kind of thing with the POA, power of attorney, but not quite as powerful. I mean, power of attorney is powerful, but if you've got a quitclaim deed, then you're the one who owns the house, and you can make decisions. Now, stay with me because we're going down a rabbit hole on this one. You've got a quitclaim deed on your loved one's home, who is now recovering. They're going to do well. They're going to be well taken care of because you've got the funds to do that, because you've got this property. You can take that property and do a 1031 on it. Okay? Let's pause on that for a second. We talked about a 1031 exchange before, and that is when, I don't know about you, but if I got a quitclaim deed from a loved one and a home in Michigan, that's not going to do me any good. I mean, I might be able to rent it, but I live in Atlanta. So how is that going to work? What is that going to look like? I could sell it to a family member. Truth be told, I'm going to want to get the most money out of that property so it benefits my loved one. And when you sell to a family member, you might not get that. Sorry, that sounds terrible, but it's true. So you identify your properties that you are going to want to buy, and it doesn't have to be in the same state. Okay? And then you sell that property wherever that your loved one, quit claim deeded to you, and then you take the proceeds and you immediately turn them over into your other 1031 properties. So now you might be able to buy an investment property near you, and then all that money will go towards your loved one. You might be able to buy a commercial property, and all those rents go towards your loved one. You're actually continuing their care by being fiduciary with their biggest investment at that time, which was their home. So don't think that you have to sell grandma's house and take the money and basically give it to the nursing home. You don't need to do that, because that's exactly what happens. And I know a lot of you who are watching this are like, yeah, that's what happened. And that's not necessarily wrong, because that nursing home wants you to sign over all their assets so that they can pay for what needs to be taken care of for grandma or grandpa, or however that works. But you can do a quit claim deed and protect those assets so that they become a legacy. And that would probably make grandma and grandpa very happy to have a legacy that their grandkids and future great grandkids might be able to have a college fund or something. But that is definitely what I refer to as the purple folder. That is something to talk about with siblings, family members, anyone who's a stakeholder in the family, is to establish what's next. What's next? Get the purple folder, put all the stuff in it, make those decisions when everyone's well and healthy and fine and happy and in a good place. Because it's going to come. I mean, death is real. Falling's real. Aging is real. There's no reason why you can't be prepared for the what's next. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I hear you. All right, you got any questions? I mean, I could keep talking about this for sure. I'm looking at your questions now. I see you. Okay. All right. I'm going to give you a test. How many of y'all remember going to Kmart? Going to Kmart and there being a cafeteria inside Kmart, and you would go and get your food while you're shopping at Kmart. Yeah, I'm dating myself. How many of you remember, there's so many things, F&M stores? Yeah, remember that? Woolworths. Green Acres. I got a list here. They're pretty funny. Whisk, Green Stamps. Halston. I don't know what Halston is. But it's funny because sometimes when I look at, when they're trying to talk about if you're a boomer or you're a zoomer or you're all these different things, I'm like, oh, please. I'm not that old. And then I made a reference to someone the other day about, they're like Thurston Howell the third, and they just looked at me. Jenny, who's that? I'm like, Thurston Howell the third. Come on, man. You gotta know who that is. They didn't know. So I just kind of walked out of the room. I'm like, I'm not going to explain to you what Gilligan's Island is. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. That is so funny. All right, so next week we're going to talk some more about this whole notion of being an SRES and about what it means for you and your family and making plans. And it's not sexy. It's not fun. But y'all, it's important, and it looks different now than it did when our folks retired. I mean, my dad worked for Ford, and they took care of everything. I mean, he had health care and a fantastic pension. What's that? People don't get pensions anymore. So it is up to you, if you haven't started already, to create that system of wealth so that you get mailbox money and money while you sleep, so that you can plan for your future and you can be in the sun like my folks are, hanging out in Fort Myers, having a great time, driving around on golf carts and having a great time. Well, not so much in COVID right now. They're doing the 6-foot golf cart rule or playing pickleball and doing whatnot. But real estate is a part of that. Real estate is a part of that portfolio that really does give you mailbox money and makes money while you sleep. So I'm always here for you. Joni Bates with Keller Williams Signature Partners. I'm at 770-363-2752. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Jack. And we're going to talk more next week. Probably going to do a little bit more things about aging in place. For those of you, I know a lot of you folks have parents who are going to stay home. They're not leaving. And what resources you have. You can still do that quitclaim deed, by the way. Do that quitclaim deed while they're aging in place. You own the house, but you will be able to look out for their best interests and reinvest and create that nest egg for them when they might need care that comes into the home. You know what I'm saying? Again, not fun, but real. It's real. Okay? All right, I'll talk to you later. Blessings. Bye.